Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 2 in the series. Game 2 taking place here on Daybreak as WhiteRa spawns on the top right hand side of the map as the red Protoss. Meanwhile, on the bottom left hand side of the map, we do have the blue Terran. Terran versus Protoss once more. BeastyQT really falling prey to that early Oracle harassment. Early Oracle so effective at shutting down not only SCVs and workers, but Marines as well. With that, most Terran players feel like, you know what, I'm just going to get a handful of Marines and that will be able to fend off whatever you throw at me. That is simply not the case. And BeastyQT went down. It looked like he was trying to go for, say, a 1-Rax expand, quickly realized that WhiteRa was teching, and then decided to do a little bit of teching as well. His Widow Mine, 15 to 20 seconds late, and that's all it takes sometimes for the ball to get rolling. WhiteRa snowballed very quickly and was able to shut down BeastyQT rather quickly, as WhiteRa now goes into Game 2 with a 1-0 lead in this best of 9 series. So far, we can see that WhiteRa is continuing to build this gateway close to home. And what is his follow-up play going to be? So far, probes now out. WhiteRa will get a little bit of information from his opponent. And with this early information, all he will see is a front door supply depot and being completely walled out. With this, WhiteRa will just naturally assume that there is no gas being placed down. BeastyQT is in fact going for a gas, albeit a bit delayed, and we are going to see this SCV make its way over, start building up the supply depot. We should have enough for 150 minerals right as this SCV completes, and there's the upgrade to orbital command. Probe now doing a little bit of overtime work trying to destroy this one particular SCV. Looks like he may be able to do so as the SCV does back away. One Marine does pop out and WhiteRa forced to retreat. Meanwhile, in this neck of the woods, WhiteRa has set up his second assimilator. So far, we've seen one build where he does in fact go for that early Oracle with a proxy pylon and a proxy Stargate. And it looks like he may be trying to do that once more. Nope, he's just going to be harvesting some resources and now backing off with this probe. Not sure what he wants to do there. We are going to be getting some stalkers. And yes, early stalker, oh so important. You cannot go for that early sentry any longer, as the Reaper, with that fast movement speed, can actually kite a sentry and take it down. Even though it doesn't do the bonus damage to light, it still does regenerate hit points over time. Alright, a Marine chasing after the probe down to 2 hit points again, or 2 shield points, and now will be able to escape as a new Marine trying to cut it off here. Oh, that is going to be a smart move. Is the Marine going to get its probe? It looks like it will, and BeastyQT with first blood. WhiteRa's follow-up play, moving now into an Oracle, excuse me, not an Oracle, a Mothership Core, not an Oracle this time around, and the Mothership Core, a great unit to be both offensive or defensive. The Oracle provides sight up onto the high ground, does have a decent rate of attack, but can also turn your Nexus and give it that photon overcharge. With that photon overcharge, you get a range 13 cannon essentially on that Nexus, as the Stalker takes a little bit more damage than he bargained for and now backs away. We are sitting at, or what will be 2 bases to 2 bases. BeastyQT already upgrading his command center to an orbital command. And with this, there is not going to be a rather large army. Mothership Core now looks to come in. Oh, there's that Time Warp. And that Time Warp, such a nasty trick to slow down units and also slow down harvesting. You can see exactly that. The SCVs slightly slower, and because they are slightly slower, that is going to affect a total mining time. Oracle now coming back over, getting in some easy shots. Is it going to take down a unit? There is a Widow Mine right there, and oh, a huge hit there. Mothership Core taking more damage than it bargained for. And oh, if WhiteRa's Mothership Core was actually over some SCVs, that would have been much, much worse. So very big victory there by BeastyQT to shut down and destroy that mothership core before any more damage could have been done. BeastyQT following up this 1-1-1 play with 2 more barracks, and that does mean he's looking to go into some very, very heavy bio. This is Marine Widow Mine pressure. Widow Mine does move slightly faster than Marines, the same as an upgraded Zealot, not quite as fast as a Stalker. And those 2 Widow Mines could in fact deal a whole bunch of damage. Medevacs are here. They are going to be picking up some units. What is happening next? The Marines going to perhaps try and test that front door. There are Stalkers nearby, and WhiteRa should be able to just push back all of those units there. Oh, where's the Medevac going? Medevac flying to the far side. Widow Mines now burrowing themselves, and there they go. Oh, there's a hit there. The Widow Mine did get a shot off, only to get finished up by an observer and some stalkers. Meanwhile, down here at the natural expansion, Widow Mine has been burrowed, and this could potentially be huge. What is going to be happening here? Damage is going to be dealt. Zealot quickly gets taken down as those Zealots now absorbing even more damage. Another Widow Mine gets taken down, and it's Marines versus Stalkers. Photon Overcharge quickly activated, and with that Photon Overcharge, BeastyQT decides to get the heck out of dodge, only to see WhiteRa try and scout him out. Oh, this could be a potential misplay by WhiteRa. His units are going to be out of position, but what is this? The Photon Overcharge is still in position. That range of 13, so strong. And there we have it. Medevac on the move. We are going into multiple gateways by WhiteRa. WhiteRa looking to increase his army, increase his supply, and then follow up with a devastating blow. BeastyQT, however, going in for the long haul, setting up another command center, hoping that 3 bases is better than 2, and hoping that he can establish it. Will he try to establish it here, or will he try to establish it here is the question. Both viable options. But this place is a little bit closer to your opponent, but it does also mean that you are expanding towards your opponent and you have less area to essentially guard. So far, Stalkers, more Stalkers, Colossus being added by WhiteRa. WhiteRa looks very strong in this game, and it's going to come down to whether or not enough Vikings will be trained up. This Widow Mine trying to get in position should be able to get there in any moment, as the Stalkers do have a bit of a head start and an even faster movement speed, able to simply retreat and return back home. Widow Mine now looking to come around the 3rd base instead. Gonna scout that there is absolutely nothing. One Widow Mine perhaps maybe burrowed there, hoping to block a Nexus. Meanwhile, we can see that WhiteRa is still sitting inside his base. 2 Colossi, level 1 weapons upgrade, level 1 armor upgrades, and extended thermal lance. Extended thermal lance being slightly closer to completion will be done in just a moment, as we are seeing the single training of some Vikings. More Vikings do need to be added. With only 1 Viking in the air, it's not going to be able to shut down the 2 to 3 Colossi that WhiteRa will have in the next minute. Colossus standing tall, Zealots, Stalkers all in position. Meanwhile, 1-0 upgrades most likely completed for BeastyQT. Yes, 1-0 soon to be 1-1. And this is going to be a very small window of opportunity to attack while he has the upgrade advantage. Otherwise, the ball will go back into WhiteRa's court. Marauders, Marines, still sitting down south here. And really nothing to write or talk about at this point. You can see the 3rd base of BeastyQT has been established. Very beautiful bunker placement once again. Needs to throw in 2 more SCVs into this refinery to get it at maximum saturation. But what is going to be happening next? Alright, it looks as though there was a failed drop in the back over here once more. And with that failed drop, the units will be backing off. Another beautiful hit coming in from BeastyQT from the Widow Mine, as the Widow Mine does deal a fair amount of damage. Observer does want to come by. Is there in fact going to be an Observer to come here in just a second? Does BeastyQT even see that Colossus? No, he doesn't even see the rest of the units here. And what is happening next? I don't see any more Observers. There it is. Observer quickly comes over and deals with that rooted mess there. Level 2 armor upgrades now been started. Meanwhile, no, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, level 2 armor upgrades has now been started. Where is the level 2 weapons upgrade, or is this level 3 now? That might actually be level 3. As we see Stalkers, Colossi, Zealots, WhiteRa massing up a very large army. BeastyQT having an even larger army, and that's because, actually, no, the supplies are about the same in terms of overall count in terms of workers, but the army composition is just so much larger for BeastyQT. He may be able to simply move into the army. He does have to be careful about those Colossi, though. Those Colossi will shred up a whole bunch of Marines in a matter of seconds, and there goes the Zealot taken down rather quickly. There it goes now. All right, one Marine, one Widow Mine lying wait at the Xel'Naga Tower. More Vikings trying to engage against those Colossi, trying to bait out some attack. It looks as though it will be able to do exactly that, as WhiteRa is forced to retreat once more. Third base quickly taken out, and this could potentially be bad, as WhiteRa is now down to 2 bases compared to a Terran's, I'll say 2.5. Vikings now looking to back away. Stalkers could force an engagement right now, but doesn't want to. Doesn't know what's on the other side of the wall. And what's on the other side of the wall is Beastie's massive Marine army, which would normally rip through Phoenixes. Marauders and Marines still doing a bit of a dance back and forth. You can see another command center being placed down. BeastyQT with a whole bunch of units in the center portion of the map. 9 Vikings. Is that enough? 9 times 20, or 19 times 28? No, 9. I was going to say 19. 9 times 28. I'm sure one of you guys out there will do it for me, as the numbers are still adding up more and more. BeastyQT nearing the maximum supply count, and at that point, he does need to strike. There's no reason in him waiting at this stage, as he wants to get to the maximum supply and then engage, hoping that WhiteRa doesn't have maximum supply. If he does that, as long as he can maintain a 30 supply advantage continually, or lose less than his opponent, since more units are attacking, he will be in a great position. Observer catching this one scouting Marine. It does get taken down, as there are a whole bunch of Vikings here. Alright, those Stalkers do need to think twice about where they are going. They do not want to engage against this massive bile force here, especially with Vikings, to prevent any sort of drop. Oh, what was that? I believe that was a feedback there, as the Ghosts simply walk in. Are they going to perhaps try to finish off the rest of the units? Are we going to see an EMP round? No, we do not. And the EMP round would have been integral in taking down so many of these units. At least they would all take instantly about 60 to 80 damage. As we now have WhiteRa charming, essentially, an Infestor. Alright, what do we have here? WhiteRa back up to 180 compared to 194. Harvester count is 74 to 69. BeastyQT has the stronger economy, but WhiteRa has more room to play with, and that may simply be too much for BeastyQT. So far we have 21 probes down here at the center location. Gonna be a very important point now, since WhiteRa did establish this without a planetary fortress. Stalkers, Zealots, Archons all holding the Xel'Naga Tower now, as we do see one Marine trying to chase away an SCV. Give me one moment. Alright, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and head back into this game. As we are right now at 200 supply, BeastyQT as a beast comes in quickly, snipes down on a High Templar, and comes in strong. So BeastyQT going for the traditional Terran bio against Protoss, and with a 4 spawning locations. Oh, well, Widowmine, is it going to be enough? It looks like, wow, that gets taken down as well, and this could be huge. All right, units need to back off. All right, Widowmine, all those units are all splashed together there. A giant attack. Colossi gets taken down. Massive Zealot. Beautiful Psy Storms coming in from both sides, as the Widow Mines have been cleared up. All right, continuing attacking. Observers get shot down once again. Vikings now in ground mode, going after High Templars, as we see Beasty splitting up all of his bio to make it difficult to get off any Psy Storms. High Templars now merging into Archons. More Ghosts coming in, or more EMP Shockwaves have gone off, as WhiteRa takes a beating here, and now here is a nuke. Nuke about to fall. This could potentially be a problem. Will the Zealots, will the units be able to get away in time? No, yes, it does, as only the Nexus takes 250 points of damage. Nothing too drastic there, but a little bit of positioning was lost. Beasty now coming back strong. Let's see, Medevacs coming in. There's the Colossi. Where are these Medevacs going? The Medevacs are now perhaps going to be flanking from a different side. And these Medevacs, you have that afterburners that do allow these Medevacs to move much more quickly. 20-second cooldown, but an 8-second burst means that these guys are moving rather quickly throughout much of the game. You can see how fast they are moving in, and there is 2 photon cannons. This could be a problem. Marauders and Marines all dropping now. 1 photon cannon down, 2 photon cannons down. A 3rd photon cannon may get taken down as the Nexus quickly goes down. Nexus dealing a lot of damage. High Templar trying to deal some more. There's a feedback there to take down both or 2 of the Medevacs, as the Archon now getting destroyed. So all these units being dropped off just to get taken out. Zealots now putting down pressure for the Marauders to only have mass Ghosts now come in. There's some EMP Shockwaves. The Observer has been spotted. As you can see, more damage being dealt. Are the Ghosts going to be able to finish off that Colossus? It doesn't look like it, as another nuke now being called. All the Observers, or all those units, will be backing off. No, it will not, as the Ghost does get taken down. And both sides fighting it out very effectively. Walk of shame from WhiteRa, as he does a bit of long-distance mining. Level 2 weapons upgrade. Marines, Medevacs being quad-trained here. Meanwhile, a Zealot stopping any landing going on here at the top left-hand side of the map. It looks as though a new Nexus is being warped in, only to get poked apart. And why is this Ghost actually going to be able to take down a photon cannon as it's trying to warp in? It looks like it might be able to be successful. 1 more shot should do it. There it goes. And the Ghost does get the kill there. And what is happening next? Ghost was dealing 13 damage per attack. Only reason why that was successful at all, as WhiteRa now looking to back away. Double command centers now being placed down here. Planetary Fortress. It will be near impossible to get us around onto this command center, especially if these also go ahead and morph into a planetary fortress as well. Zealots now making their way over. No armor upgrades here, as the Zealots going after some SCVs. This is going to be a brutal undertaking, as the SCVs now getting sliced and diced by Zealots. Planetary Fortress is operational, taking down units. There goes another Zealot there, as both sides are still fighting. Coming back here, we see 4 Colossi ready to go. A whole bunch of barracks, 9 barracks in production. BeastyQT with an amazing economy, able to support 9 barracks pretty much continually after every fight. Medevacs once more on the move. Bad news for those Medevacs, they are low on energy. Good news for those Medevacs, they will not get feedbacked out of the sky. And with this, WhiteRa may actually be in a bit of trouble. He cannot afford to lose these gateways. Each gateway is so important if he wants to warp in additional units and replenish them. All right, Medevac perhaps lying in wait, ready to go. You can see that the pressure is already being placed down here. WhiteRa baiting the majority of the units, as another nuke now being called. All right, the Colossi coming in from the far side. Marauders and the Marines are going to be backing off of Vikings in a very good position, able to poke apart here. But what's this? 1 photon cannon. Oh, this could be potentially bad news, as the medevacs are going to drop in, take down one. Medevacs could drop in, take down another, as we see all the units are rather far from home. Marauders and Marines taking down all the necessary tech, as we see a beautiful army now coming in from the far side. BeastyQT after WhiteRa. Vikings flanking left and right, and BeastyQT playing this beautifully, backing off a WhiteRa, not too shabby either, chasing after all of these units, and now joining in is a planetary fortress. All the key tech is now gone. Twilight Council, Marauders going after a whole bunch of Zealots. Those Zealots are upgraded pretty much fully, just no shields, as we see a large attack force coming back. Let's take a look at the losses. Losses slightly higher for WhiteRa, as the Marauders and the Marines still engaging here pretty strong. Zealots now falling. Marauders and Marines going after some Zealots as they're warping in. There goes one. There's going to go another. Zealots not doing enough damage here. The medevacs pretty much low on energy still. Have to be very, very careful how they use that stim packs. High stim pack, stim pack usage does lead to addiction. As we see now, Colossi may be trying to put pressure on the planetary fortress. Double medevac now dropping in, and WhiteRa really showing why so many Protoss players are complaining about those Ignite Afterburners on those medevacs. Without that, BeastyQT would not be in the same position whatsoever. But what is this? It looks like it is now turning into a base race, as the Colossi are now destroying gateway or barracks after barracks, and the Marauders and the Marines taking out gateway after gateway. This is turning into a bit of an economic war. Vikings now taking down more units. There are a good number of units here, as the missile turret even gets some free shots onto WhiteRa's units there. All right, Ghost now coming in. Oh, this could be a potential issue. WhiteRa does not have observers. The Ghosts are currently cloaked, and they will be just taking down so many stalkers, as there's the GG. Well played. BeastyQT playing a beautiful game here on Daybreak. I apologize for the low energy. I realized it, and hopefully I came back stronger than ever. All right, BeastyQT evening up the series at 1 game apiece, as we now move into Game 3.